hello everybody, and welcome in to the deck choices video for week 32. My name is Glanzer, and we'll be going through the options this week. We also have the last time's choices available for us to review. I'll go through that actually first. We'll go through what we picked last time, and we'll decide actually what we think might be different based on these choices. So this is the original choices. I think for sure the man bear pig isn't going to be picked this time, but we'll take a look and we'll decide each one. Then we'll take a look at that stat page a little bit as well. Sorry, Albus is bugging me, but sorry, I have been a little MIA. I had some friends over this weekend. We streamed Friday with some Jackbox and stuff like that, but then I thought I was going to be able to stream Sunday. It didn't end up happening. And Monday, I actually fell asleep right after work and just completely couldn't do anything, and woke up it's actually 3 a.m. right now, and so I'm recording this now because I wasn't able to fall right back asleep. So we have the late night deck video, although it's not really late night for any of you guys. So here we go. Let's check it out and kind of decide. We'll go through and just decide whether we think it'd be a different choice or not, and then we'll discuss that choice. So man bear pig versus SWOW. I think this might be definitely the one that changes. SWOW was probably lower leveled for a lot of people when this week came out, which was a repeat of January 15th. And I will have links in the description for games of this deck. So if you want to get some, practice in, to me, watching a few games is just as good as practice if it's, if they're running the same deck that you're running. So definitely watch those. So Zen versus PC Principle is still going to be Zen. Chomper versus Hyperdrive is going to be Hyperdrive. Although, the Chomper's not terrible, but just that Hyperdrive can be the difference between battles. So it's really important. Swashbuckler versus Imp Tweak. I'm willing to bet that Imp Tweak was actually not changed on this original one, because I think Imp Tweak is just a better card now than Swashbuckler. So Swashbuckler is what we picked before, but I think that's because Imp was really bad previously because he was like random. So the new way that Imp works is quite good. And what situations could we use it for? You could pull Belf or Angel or Gunslinger. One of those cards that could really enhance a push and make it hard to stop. That's definitely gonna be your best choice for Imp. So I think Imp might be different this week as well. Hookhand versus Marcus. I do remember this being a toss-up, but I think the power of the Hookhand for that level 3, the 3-drop, and being able to potentially knock pretty much any unit except for the top slot here. It pretty much kills every unit out there. These guys might survive slightly, although I don't know if Mary Jane Randy would even survive. I think Marcus barely survives. Hookhand, I think, dies. Obviously, this slot wouldn't die. I think Swashbuckler might barely survive, but pretty much kills everybody. So I think it's a pretty good choice. And there's not a whole lot of swarm. The only quote-unquote swarm that you could really hit would be maybe Rats, but Rats isn't going to get picked over Scout, and maybe the little assassins. But hitting the assassin isn't bad because the assassins can be kind of brutal. So I would say Hookhand is still the choice. Inuit is still going to be the choice. Can potentially help you with the SWOW or the man bear pig damage. Or I guess the 6 element. This guy's used so often I don't even know what to call him. The Sexy Nun Randy is going to be the choice here. Mary Jane Randy just isn't as good as he used to be. His health is so low that he's just really easy to kill. But the taunt can be used really well, but it's just very difficult to use that really well. And in a game match where, you know, things could be Gunslinger Kyled, there's going to be a lot of damage thrown around. So the Sexy Nun is nice because coupled with the Zen and the SWow's taunt, you could potentially keep those little assassins alive for a very long time, and they are just brutal against a low-level new kid. So that's a good strategy there for sure. Try to keep the people away from your assassins with the taunts. Obviously, this one's to me, it's an easy choice. Gunslinger is awesome, and you can do some sweet stuff with them. But when it just comes down to Angel being behind SWow or Zen or whatever, and just getting those massive heals on people the whole time, there's just nothing that really beats that. Unless your Gunslinger combo kills my guys completely, my Angel is probably going to keep them alive, right? So Angel is almost always the choice in Team Wars. She's one of the best Ranger Team Wars in the game, just simply because I think the biggest thing is that if you get a new kid blast hit, a lot of your people won't die, and then Angel will be able to heal them back up, so then it's like a second push basically. So that can be really brutal if you time it just right, make things survive new kid that normally wouldn't. I mean, that's usually when the game's over, is when the new kid doesn't clean up. So that's why it's important. Like on cow weeks, your whole goal, if they're playing cows, your whole goal is to make sure they don't take 2 bars, not protecting the 1 bar, you know, because your new kid just doesn't help enough. So in your, like I said, Sexy Nun. Belf is always going to be the choice here. Robo Bebe, I mean, you could get cheeky with Robo Bebe and Gunslinger, but at the end of the day, if Belf can survive all the new kid blasts and shit, then she's going to be better. You know, there's not a whole lot that's going to boost her as far as like getting the last hit, but you can still get lucky and get the last hit on, you know, a couple big health units and still get stacks. So not bad. Not a bad choice. Lava versus Super Fart. You're going to want to go Super Fart just to potentially counter, you know, maybe if somebody does run rats. Maybe if they're running a hyperdrive at you, you could Super Fart some people away. But mostly that'll just be a dead card. You don't want to use that. Use it at the end after you win and then fart on them. Like, you just don't want to use that slot. And if you have to, using Super Fart to cycle can be an option. So it's better than Lava for sure. I have very rarely ever seen somebody play Lava and have it work well enough to win a game. Scout's going to be the choice versus the Rats, just simply because Scout is just one of the best units in the game as far as assassins go. Trying to get him on the Zen is probably the best thing, so he can just keep blasting and getting you energy and not have to worry about dying. But obviously keep in mind, SWow is probably going to be pulling you in different directions, so it might not be the best option. So just think about who you want him to attack. And put him in a position where he's not the furthest target from SWow. So that's a big thing about this week, is a lot more people are going to run SWow, so you have to understand how she works. You don't want her to be able to like run to your Belf and kill him, right? So you want to try to manage your distance and stuff where, and because there's not really any other AoE this week, it might be unless they're running main bear pig, obviously. But it might be beneficial to, you know, put your range cards close in on tanks and stuff like that, because you're not going to want them to be the furthest unit away from SWow. And then we have Warboy versus Wonder Tweak. The only time that Wonder Tweak, I think, is a choice in Team Wars is the 1 week that he was with Pirate Ship Timmy. Being able to use Wonder Tweak, well, you'd have Pirate Ship Timmy out and charged, and then you use Wonder Tweak to pull the whole team together into one little clump, and then you instantly use Timmy's ability, and Timmy will hit everybody. And in Team Wars, when things aren't, you know, like max level 7 commons and stuff like that, usually, when the levels are a little bit lower, that Timmy blast really messes up pushes. So I remember having a whole lot of fun with that. And because now Team Wars weeks will always be repeated from previous weeks, we know that week is a possibility, because I don't know how long they go in the past, maybe only the last year. We know this one was January of 2021, so it's pretty old, but I wonder if they don't go back any further than 2021, so it's just the last year, but we'll see. I don't think there's been a 2020 yet. But Warboy is going to be the choice. 3 costs cheaper. That speed up can be brutal. If you get it on a couple Assassins, you get on the Inuit, get on the Scout, get it on even the Sexy and Unrandy little guys. If you couple that with the Gunslinger, if you're running Gunslinger, it can be really brutal. Otherwise, you know, even Angel can get in those heals out a little tiny bit quicker, can be impactful. So that the Warboy, definitely good. Warboy coupled with Hyperdrive, I would say don't use them at the same time. They don't really stack on each other. So just make sure that the one speed boost is done before you initiate the next one. But I would say always try to play Warboy first and then speed boost the group after, because if you need to, because Warboy sped up is actually like a really good range card. And he doesn't get hit by new kids, so potentially the end of a skirmish, he's the only one alive. With a speed boost, he could take the bar real quick. And the hyperdrive lasts quite a while. Warboy's doesn't last as long, so when you use Warboy, it's got to be something where the speed boost, if it's quick, it really helps you. With hyperdrive, it lasts a little longer, so you can use it for more of like an extended push kind of thing. But all right, let's take a look at the stats here, and kind of shows off why some cards aren't the right choice. I mean, when you look at, and this is dead, see, we'd leave that dead, so it's only gonna do 83 damage, so it's not gonna be enough to even kill an assassin. And that's because when something like with Scout, who has, you know, a lot of attack and HP, even if it's max level 6 or whatever, it doesn't do that amount of damage, especially for Hanky, right? And if you knock back Hanky, doesn't kill him, and he's coming right back at you, you know, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So you can see here, SWOW, for less energy, she gets quite a bit of HP, and I would say much more versatility with that taunt. So, and she's also very slow. Main Bear Pig, I mean, decent card, but with something like Inuit out there, kind of lowers his ability to really be strong. One good thing about SWOW is that even if you get, you know, Inuit attacking on her, you could potentially have her change targets and then, you know, have one of your assassins kill Inuit or something like that. So there's definitely options to avoid stuff, but you can't do that with Man Bear Pig. He's just gonna AoE hit pretty much everything. So I think especially with the cheaper cost, SWOW is gonna be the choice this week. Even if you're only at 3, even if you're at level 3 max, it's still pretty useful. I mean, 2700 HP for 5, that's pretty good. When you compare it to using 5 energy on Sexy Nun for 1200, like that's in almost every situation, Classy's a better play right there, right? So just keep that in mind. And then you can see here, 939. How much damage does the hook hand do? 600. Okay, so it doesn't quite fully kill the Randy, but I mean it's a lot of damage. 670. It would kill hook hand. Marcus would barely survive. And like I was saying, the Swashbuckler would also barely survive, but everything else in the whole game, except for this slot and this slot, they're not, well, I guess this slot too, but this guy almost pretty much, these guys, honestly, if they get hit by hook hand, they're pretty much done. So I wouldn't even count that. But this one, they survive quite a bit, and this one, they survive quite a bit. But even chunking SWOW for 600 is pretty good. Hitting New Kid for, I think it's like I don't think it's like 67 damage to New Kid, is it? So I think it's like half of that or something like that. So it's like maybe 32 damage to New Kid. I can't remember. 60 seems high. But obviously if you're on Marcus, it's 156. Level 6 Marcus is actually quite a bit higher than that. It's like, I think it's 176, which is pretty good. But obviously PC Principal just isn't the choice ever. The biggest reason for PC Principal being a problem is, like, especially when there's a week with like Belf or something like that, if you push these units back and they don't die on weeks where you don't have like fireball or removal of any kind, then you're potentially helping them more than anything. Because if PC Principal pushes Belf back behind enemy New Kid, like I just helped him, right? So that's the biggest reason why PC Principal is a problem, is just once you put him out there, you don't really have any control over what happens next, you know, after the first unit they start attacking. And then, you know, it could be detrimental. So Zen, can't really mess Zen up, play him, use him on defense, use him to slow play, whatever it might be. Very easy conceptually to use. And I would say Imp is definitely the choice here. Imp, I mean, that's a card that if Hook Hand hits him, it's a good hit, right? But being able to, I would say probably Angel would be the biggest thing that I would try to pull, is use Imp to pull Angel, or potentially Warboy. Just, it'll kind of depend on the push, but if you can get Angel dead, that'll really, really help out in your, if you have Imp and you pull their Angel, one, there's not a whole lot of other cards that are going to be able to hit the Imp. So the Imp is going to be staying above your units and just messing people up. And if they do then put out Belf or something like that to hit Imp, then you might be able to use SWOW and taunt in that range card so that Imp doesn't get hit again. So that range, or the aerial about Imp, is actually one of the bigger important parts about why he's a good pick, because the difficulty to kill him might actually be, and he's quick enough to, if he gets on a new kid, he's got enough health, new kid doesn't do a lot of damage, could be dangerous. So I think it's a good card for sure. Now, I think that's pretty much all we have to talk about. Everything seems pretty good. That Gunslinger looks so nice, but 433 health across 3 units. You get an extra 1200 health. That's especially if it fully heals people, right? So if you have Swashbuckler or Imp, that are almost dead, and you heal them, you also heal up the the SWOW, and maybe you heal up Hook Hand or something like that. I mean, that's just so much value that no matter what Gunslinger might do, like even if 3 units get that plus 143 and those 3 units hit 3 times, that's still not as much as 1 Angel heal. And that they have to be attacking the whole time too. Like a lot of the times what happens is you get the boost from Gunslinger, you kill whatever you're attacking really quick, and then unless you're a range card, you have to walk your ass to the next unit. You don't get a huge amount of value from the Gunslinger usually. It's usually good to it'd be great to kill Manbear Pig, kill SWOW, kill Zen or something, kill a tank, burn him down real quick. But if you, like I said, if you don't kill those units, that plus 433 is more health, and Angel definitely gets to heal much quicker than Gunslinger gets his second ability off, because it's fairly slow. So I really like that Angel, and it's going to be really detrimental for that Angel to get pulled with Imp. So you're really going to want to try to play maybe play Belf first, get him to Imp Belf, and then play Angel, because that Angel heal, and it'll be your biggest goal is to get Imp onto the enemy Angel, because like I said, that's going to be the biggest impact. If they don't have Angel, they have Gunslinger instead, I'd still say Gunslinger is your choice. Belf just isn't scary. There's nothing that Belf's going to get stacked on. So, and even if Belf does get stacked, you could use Inuit or something to kill her. So not too scary there. But all right, I will put in the chat the link to this, or in the description, a link to the games that the last time that we had this deck, what the games looked like. It's going to be quite different though, because you're going to see more Imps and SWOWs and less Swashbucklers and Manbear Pigs. So the videos we see might not be super, I can't think of the word. It might not show off this week very well, but I would say that the amount of people that probably did pick these cards last time, well, I'd say maybe not Imp. Imp probably didn't get picked very much at all, but we'll see. Maybe Imp was changed back then and we just went with Swashbuckler. We'll see. But I didn't get a chance to look at them, but we'll post those, and it's a good way to watch those, see how previous people played, see how the games went, and then it can kind of help you decide. Maybe you'll see, oh shit, Hyperdrive was terrible and Chomper was really nice to be able to kill Inuit or something like that. So there's some options that maybe are shown in a better light when you're watching. Exact example would be watching PC Principle fuck something up and then know for next time don't use PC Principle. So make sure you watch those. Like I said, link will be in the description, and this video hopefully will get posted early Tuesday so it helps out your team. But I'll also get the Team Wars games from last week and this week, week 30 and week 31. We're going to get those posted here in a little bit. And then hopefully we get back into the swing of things and get things on time going forward. But I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you leave a comment on what you think about the changes for the deck this week. Do you think SWOW and Imp are better than the choices last time? Let me know in chat or in the comments, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.